Hello and welcome back to another Royal Reviewer transmission here on YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about one story in particular. At the end of the video, stay tuned, I will tell you about all of these amazing pieces of royal replica jewellery that I am wearing today. I only ever wear royal replica jewellery. Okay, so like I say, this is a single story topic video, and it is the first sign of kind of information that we have about the coronation and who might be involved in it, with regards in particular to the young Prince Louis. So, a news publication, now by the way, I haven't got any receipts to show you, so I can't show you any documents, or I can't show you any diagrams or anything that prove this, but a news publication here in the UK says that they have seen some information which indicates that there has been some planning put in place for Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis to attend the coronation. Now, I think everyone kind of expected that Prince George would be involved in the coronation and Princess Charlotte because of their ages. Prince Louis will be 5 at the time, and I think that is considered old enough to be able to take part in a coronation. Now, bearing in mind, it is a very long time to sit and take part, although shorter in length than the late Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. So the actual ceremony has been cut from, I think, around about 3 hours to around about 90 minutes. So it has been drastically reduced, and we still don't know exactly the kind of timings of the events. Those will be made public and will be revealed a little bit closer to the time. But for now, we're just getting these odd reports coming out. So as you may or may not know, depending on if you've been living under a rock, May the 6th is Coronation Day, and there will be a whole kind of 3 days of set piece celebrations. Before we move on to the kind of Prince Louis story, I still don't know entirely. I don't even think they've actually fully confirmed who will be performing at some of the concerts and set piece events. I think in terms of if you are a musical artist, the coronation has been kind of arranged rather quickly. So if you do have any commitments, if you're touring, or if you've got, like I say, any other commitments, it's hard to just drop things. So I don't know who they're going to get. It would be nice if they had a really wide selection. Many British artists would be, I think, really appropriate, but also from around the Commonwealth. So fingers crossed, I hope that they're going to get some really spectacular performers. I'm sure they will. So the article, I'm going to read the article and then kind of stop and talk about it as we go. So the Prince of Wales's children, it's still taking me a while to get used to calling him the Prince of Wales, are expected to join their parents. Now this is where the information comes in a carriage behind Charles and Camilla, who will be in the gold state coach, according to rehearsal documents seen by the Times publication. So obviously, anything to do with carriage processions, you've got more chance of information leaking because more people have to see it, especially if it's being shared around with, police and all the different forces and elements that will be involved on the day. There's lots of coordination. So I actually do believe this, although I haven't seen the actual information myself. But let's go with it for now. As with most things, royal watching is speculation until we actually, on the day, we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But the one thing that I've heard rumours of before, I have mentioned it in a previous video, is that King Charles. Oh my goodness, I need to still get used to saying King Charles. So King Charles doesn't want to use the big gold state coach on the way to the Abbey. He wants to use it on the way back, which is in contrast to the late Queen's coronation, who used it on both rides. Now, the late Queen did comment on how uncomfortable that carriage was. Now, Prince Charles has had back problems, I think stemming from when he played polo, I think he fell off a horse. So he always has a cushion. If you've noticed, whenever he's in a carriage or in a car, or even just sat down, there is a cushion. He doesn't travel far without this cushion. So I think he's worried about the comfort level. So I think he'll travel in a lesser coach, carriage. No confirmation on which one, but there is, for example, the Golden Jubilee State coach. There are ones that have better suspension that will be better on his back to go from the palace to the Abbey. So I don't think we'll be seeing him going there in car. Although King Charles has actually been using vintage cars from the royal fleet at the Commonwealth Day service, it wasn't one of the more recent cars. It was actually one of the more vintage ones. So I don't know. There is still the chance that we could see Charles and Camilla leaving the palace, going to the Abbey in a vintage motor car. However, I think it's most likely that it will be one of the more modern, luxurious carriages for his own comfort. Then on the way back, they are definitely using the gold state coach. It's beautiful. It's adorned with all, Baroque designs. It really is gorgeous, but it's not very comfortable. So I can kind of see why. Anyway, the article goes on to mention Harry and Meghan, who still have not officially indicated, well, not that it's been released publicly anyway, whether they will attend the coronation. Harry and Meghan haven't said, the palace side haven't said, so everyone is assuming that no decision has been made as of yet, but we do know that an invitation was made. Even so, apparently staff are making plans so that Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet will be able to join the celebrations if they do. Now, I'm not quite sure what this is pertaining to. I don't think Archie and Lilibet have been invited to the actual Abbey ceremony. Bearing in mind, it is Archie's birthday, and there was apparently a list of demands that Harry and Meghan wanted met before they said yes or no to the coronation, one of which being an acknowledgement of Archie's birthday. So I thought about this, and the best way that the palace could negotiate this, if indeed that is true, is normally whenever there's a royal child's birthday, there is an embargoed photo or something that's put out round about midnight of the day or the day prior, just so it kind of coincides, so that all the press have the announcement just about on the time of the birthday. So round about 12 midnight on Coronation Day, but early in the morning, they could make an announcement on all the social medias about Archie's birthday. Then that leaves about a 7-8 hour gap before they start with social media posts on actual Coronation Day. So that would kind of negotiate that, I think, a little bit. Now, when it says join the celebrations, like I say, I don't think they'll be at the Abbey. I think they're too young. Princess Anne did actually join her elder brother, Prince Charles, and the rest of the royal family on the balcony, but we know that any balcony appearance is going to be likely restricted to just working members of the family. So I think this is pertaining to the kind of more private celebrations behind the scenes that they will be involved in or could be involved in. But it would mean if Harry and Meghan did come, that they would have to leave Archie on his birthday for a prolonged period of time until they could be reunited in the more private moments. So it should not come as a surprise that the young Waleses are participating in the procession, especially since George 9, Charlotte 7, both accompanied the royal family during the Queen's funeral procession. Louis IV was deemed too young, but obviously at 5, you're that little bit older. I mean, I remember attending, I think I must have been about 5. I attended a christening or a wedding, and it is a very long time to sit, but I made it through. And I wasn't the sort of child that would, cause a scene or make noise. I don't think Louis is really that. So, he could sit through, but we know that they're definitely going to be involved in the funeral procession and in the coronation procession, not the funeral procession. On the way back, so but they will be in their own carriage. They won't all be in the Gold State coach. So rehearsal plans show that the Prince and Princess of Wales and their 3 children will process out of the Abbey, and this was expected. I think it was kind of spoke about as an anticipation a few times, I think, in the past. They will be joined by the Princess Royal, her husband, Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, and the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, the Duke of Kent, and Princess Alexandra. Now, Prince Andrew, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, and Harry and Meghan are not expected to participate in the carriage procession. I don't think anybody really kind of thought that that would be the case. It is being kind of limited to those kind of key royals, and of course, the others that I mentioned earlier are still working members of the family. Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, and I would like to see them there. I would like to see them in a carriage, but it does kind of negotiate that element of what do we do with Prince Andrew. So there's a little chance of the Sussex children being part of the ceremony itself, given their ages. Archie will turn 4 on the big day itself, and Lilibet will be 1. So definitely, I think, a little bit too young. A source said, I'm sure they would also acknowledge the little prince's birthday, probably in a similar way that I have just suggested, even though it's his grandpa's big day. So like I say, we don't have any word from Harry and Meghan or Harry and Meghan's camp, whether or not they will be attending. I think it's pushing it a little bit now. I think they do need to make a decision if they haven't. It's getting quite close. Is it about 7 weeks, 8 weeks to go? I think it's right and proper for the royal family to prepare for them in case they do. But then if they don't, then at least everything is catered for and everything has been kind of thought about and planned in advance. I think that's kind of prudent to do that. Okay, so there's nothing more coming out about this story. I think we're still on, the plans are still in place for Camilla's grandchildren, her elder grandchildren, to hold the canopy of estate while she's being anointed with the holy oil. Rehearsals are still taking place on a built-up stage in Buckingham Palace. I would imagine, as I've said before, probably in the ballroom. So preparations are well underway, and I can't wait to see the array of royal jewellery and coronets and tiaras and all the good stuff. I mean, if you are easily offended by jewellery, expensive, if you are easily offended by rich, wealthy, entitled people wearing very expensive jewellery, do not watch the coronation. It's not going to be your bag. You will end up being, I think, very riled up. However, as you can see from today, I am a more is more sort of person. I have been wearing tiaras, royal replica jewellery for years and years and years. I think, 4 or 5 years I've been wearing it on my channel. So if you are new to the channel, I have been royally reviewing since 2015. In fact, I was the first person on YouTube to put themselves forwards doing royal, whatever you want to call it, talking about the royals. I was the first to have my own a royal talk show, my weekly Talk of the Crown. All those episodes are still up, even before the mainstream media started doing it. So here I am in full royal replica jewellery, and I'll take you through them. So this is a tiara that is called the Duchess of Augusta tiara, and it was the model. It was the precursor to the Lover's Knot tiara, and as you can see, her version, Duchess Augusta, had these beautiful pearls atop. Queen Mary was very jealous of her Lover's Knot tiara, so she had her own made. And I do have a replica of that one as well, which now, of course, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, wears. Catherine also wears this, which is Queen Elizabeth II's Japanese pearl choker. And like I say, this is a gorgeous replica. I do love this one. I'm also wearing the Queen Victoria's Prince Albert brooch, and I'm wearing the Cambridge, the Duchess of Cambridge pearl drop as well, pearl brooch with drop. So there we have it. That's my array of royal replica jewellery for today. I do plan to wear my other tiaras over the course of the next videos. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video and this discussion, please leave a comment, like, share the video on social media, and of course, please subscribe so that you know whenever I post a new video. So from me, mwah to you all, and goodbye.